So we're in Clovis, California. We just finished installing a Rheem water heater, and you can see serial number there, and of course some model number. This was purchased straight through Home Depot. The homeowner purchased this and we picked it up and brought it out, so it's not our product. Warranty is in effect. You'll get with Rheem. Probably go to their website. There's probably a registration card in here as well, but if you go to their website, I'm sure you can register for your warranty there. Model number, serial number, and then name, street address, and all that good stuff. Get your warranty going on that. So as per code and per contract, we've gone ahead and given you the new replacement valve. So that's a brand new quarter turn shutoff valve, and then of course a 24-inch supply line. So that's part of the contract. And then also up top, we gave you a new water shutoff valve, which you can see right there. That is straight out of Ferguson. It's a ProFlow, quarter turn off, quarter turn on. So that's real nice when you need to work on this. And then of course brand new water supply lines. That was part of the contract as well. Brand new straps, upper third and lower third. So those are good. Those are adjustable, so you can take those apart and reuse them. And then the water supply lines are Falcon stainless steel connectors, 18 inches long, I think. It could be 15 or 18, I'm not sure. Anyways, we put those in. They're the biggest in the industry. You can see the diameter of these. They're huge. It's the biggest inside diameter, 0.725. Most supply lines are very narrow, and they're ultra flexible as well. You could take these off, straighten them out, and use them again. The only thing you'd have to do over a period of time, obviously, is there's a gasket in here, a washer, and you could replace that and tie it back in. And but we're talking 10, 15 years out. You'd replace something like that. The old piping that was in here is sitting right here. You can see a galvanized iron pipe stub out on the hot side, and then of course the valve with the galvanized iron pipe and a little nipple, and then copper supply lines going down. Those were corroded pretty bad. You can see here that we were going to replace the supply line anyways, but you can see that nipple, a lot of corrosion on it, and so we just took the whole thing out and put a new galvanized iron pipe nipple in there. So we didn't upgrade it to anything. We just simply replaced it, so at least you've got another this is probably a 20-year-old home, I'm guessing, 15 to 20 anyways, and so you have another 15-20 years before the iron pipe begins to corrode again. At some point you might, and you can see that's pretty bad down there. The valve's fine. Once you clean that up, you could reuse that, but we don't use the ball valves. They don't shut down completely. There's a disc in there. If that stem gets over tightened, it can snap off, so we use that ball valve there. Anyway, so we replaced all the piping coming out of the wall, which is not part of the scope of work, but we didn't want to leave it in place and have all this leaking going on up here. Down at the tank, we like to use brass couplings and nipples. Reason being is on the top of these fittings that come out of the tank, there is a heat trap on both sides. There's a little piece of plastic that they shove down into this pipe here, and what it does is it keeps the hot water from rising back up through the cold system and mixing with the cold water. And on the top of it, there's a little pretty thick plastic that, sorry about all the shaking, pretty thick plastic that caps off the top, and when you tighten these nuts down against there with those washers, a lot of times they don't seal, or you over tighten them trying to get them to seal and water's dripping. So what we do to eliminate it is just give you a nice brass solid construction there, because brass flows real well. It will not corrode, it will not break down, so that's good. Stainless steel will not corrode, will not break down. Galvanized iron pipe will corrode and break down. However, like I say, 15, 20 years, you're good on those. If at some point you feel like you want to upgrade to that, you can change the pipe coming out of the wall with brass, and then of course that little nipple right there with brass. We didn't come prepared for this, and it wasn't a part of our contract, so we didn't replace it. It wasn't going to get replaced at all, let's put it that way. It was going to stay just like it is, but we did give you new piping. That way it's going to flow better in and out of the water heater. We did reuse the vent pipe. I don't believe that was a part of the contract. I'll have to look and check and make sure, but little piece that goes out, that's dual wall B-vent coming out of the wall. Looks like you've got a little adapter right there that goes into the wall and probably makes a transition to oval pipe, which goes up in an exterior wall. So this is a dual wall B-vent. There's an inner pipe up in there you can see, and an outer pipe. That's because it's so close to the sheetrock. You need 6-inch clearance on the single wall pipe. So we just stuffed it back in there. Put some screws back in there, so that's good. The relief valve's tied back in. Now it's code. You've got the union right there to break it apart in case you ever need to change it, work on it. replace the water heater, you just break it apart right there. Copper over to the wall. This was existing copper fitting back here, the male, and then it had a supply line. Same thing as the copper corrugated supply lines up there. It had one going over to the tank. So this is code now, rigid copper coming over and up. You need to break it apart, so that's good. Burner is lit. Give it about an hour and a half, I'm not sure, 2 hours. You'll have a full tank of hot water. Right here, you want to leave it there at hot. Feel free to do what you want, but we're leaving it at hot. Reason being is that's 120. You can see it says scalding risk increases with hotter water. So A, approximately 130, B 140, C 150, very hot 160. So at B 140, third degree burns 3 seconds, you're going to the hospital. So we leave it here at 120. You can put your hand into that all day long and you can take a shower in that pure hot and you should be okay. If you do adjust it, just be mindful of that, scalding risk. So everything's good. We're gonna grab the tester, the gas tester. We're gonna go ahead and sniff this gas line real quick while we're on video. And make sure that it's a green light on all the gas connections. So, whenever you shut the gas down and turn it back on, you want to make sure that you don't have any leaks. Typically, you pump it up with air, but there's no way to, check the from here to there because it's tied into the unit. You don't want to blow it up. So, you can see back here. Okay, so it's ready to go. And so this first joint, you can see green light, and then the second joint. And what it is, it just sniffs. If any trace of gas, it'll give you a solid green, which means all clear. Come over to the next one over here, or it'll give you a yellow, which means the mild to moderate. And if you get a red light, that means shut things down. You got something going on and it's wrong. Fix it. So everything over here, last joint, you can see all green lights. So that's good. Gas line's done. Water's filled out. We bled all the water out through the relief line. All the air out, so all the air is out of the tank. You might get some air in the home. Also, additionally, you might get a little bit of debris in there whenever you shut the water line down at the main. You get some blowback from, just the water coming back into the home. So, first load of laundry, don't do whites. First load of dishes, just make it, just maybe run a load, whatever, let the water clean itself out. Anyways, outside of that, this installation is done.